A very good morning to you all students. So we will start with a new chapter, that is force and pressure. So students, sometimes I will upload a video also, and the same thing I will explain in the live class also. So please pay attention whatever is taught to you. Now in the previous class I gave question answers of chapter 10, that is adolescence. Okay, so I have given all the question answers. Those who were absent, they can take the question answers from their friends. This one, reaching the age of adolescence. So I have completed the question answers of this chapter. So today I will start with the new chapter, that is force and pressure. Now what is force? Please open page number 187. Now you know, when see here it's written, an athlete wants to throw a very heavy ball during a shot put contest so that it may go as far as possible. So what that athlete does, that athlete push the ball hard. So when the athlete will push the ball hard, what will happen? The ball will go far. Okay, you can see here. And when a person wants to draw, now when the person wants to draw water from the well, what that person does, that person pull the rope which is attached to the bucket, and here by pulling the rope, the bucket, he can pull the bucket by pulling the rope. Okay, so you can see here. And also if here you can see for force, a push or a pull. Now if you want to close a door, what we do, we push the door, and the door, it is closed in the direction of the applied it is closed in that direction where the door is pushed. And if you open the door, you have to pull the door. Okay, here the same thing is written. This means that to move an object, it has either to be pushed or to be pulled. A push or a pull on an object is called as force. Okay, please underline. So push or a pull, like when you push the ball can be moved. If you pull the water, if you want to draw the water from the well, you have to pull the rope which is attached to the bucket. So please underline, the push or a pull is called on an object is called as a force. See this, it's here, this one is, this man is pushing this block and this is pulling this block. So on pushing this block, the block can be moved, and pulling this block, the block can be moved. Now just open the page, open this page 188. Forces are used in our, you know that forces are used in our daily life or in everyday actions like pushing, pulling, lifting. Lifting, I hope you all understand what is the meaning of lifting. Stretching, if you have to stretch something. Twisting and pressing. Okay, for a force is used when we push a football. Now when you push a football, or you can say when you kick a football. So when you kick a football, actually what's happening, you are pushing the football, and if you will kick it hard, you can move the football. So here the ball is pushed. Okay, so same object is given, same example is given here of a force is used when we lift a box from a floor. You know, when you have to lift, not only box, when you have to lift anything from the floor, what happens? A force is applied, a force is used. When you stretch a rubber band, then also force is used. When you squeeze or twist a wet cloth to squeeze water, force is applied or force is needed. Okay, the fallen leaf of the trees fly away with wind. Why? Because the force of the wind pushes them away. Understood? Even the roof of some huts fly away during a storm because the force of a strong wind pushes them away. Okay, so before we go further, we should know the meaning of term interaction. So I hope these examples are clear to you. Now what is the meaning of interaction? Please pay attention. These are some of the basic terms. Okay, underline this. Interaction involves two objects. First of all, interaction involves two objects. Okay, and now what is interaction? Sorry, what is interaction? In interaction, you know, two objects are involved. Now each object acts in such a way as to have an effect on other object. Interaction involves two objects. One object, it acts in such a way that it has some effect on the other, and the other object also acts on the previous one in such a way that it has an effect on the previous one. So here both the objects, they interact, they behave or they act on each other in such a way that they have an effect on each other. Okay, so in most simpler words, interaction means to act on each other, to act on each other. Okay, so now please pay attention, very important. Force is due to an interaction. Force arises when two bodies interact. Now this chapter is a physics chapter, force and pressure. So in physics, objects, things, or we call them as bodies. Okay, so force arises due to the interaction of two bodies. An interaction of one object with another object results in a force between the two objects. Okay, one object interacts with the other interacts with the first one, and this results in the force between the two objects. There are some examples given on this. In other words, a force arises due to interaction between two objects. When the two objects interact, then the force arises, and that force is able to show some effect. For example, at least two objects must interact with each other. Definitely, I told you before also. Okay, two objects should interact with each other for the force to come into play. If there is no interaction between two objects, no force can show its effect. When the two bodies or two objects will interact, then the force will come into play, and then it can cause some effect. Now you see this example. Now here you can see very clearly, please see in your books also, this is a car and this is a man standing behind the car. Now here what is happening? This man is standing behind the car, this is the car. Nothing is happening, car is not moving. Why? Because two bodies are far from each other. The man and the car, they are not touching each other, they are not interacting with each other. Okay, so nothing is happening. So interaction is not there between the two objects or the two bodies, that is man and the car. Now you see this second portion, this one. Here this man is pushing the car. So here there is an interaction. These, okay, now what is happening? These car and man they are two objects. And what is interaction? When each object acts in such a way that it leaves some effect on the other. So here what is happening? This man is pushing, okay, the car. Okay, so this man is acting on the car, and you cannot see, you will study in your higher class that even this car is also acting in an opposite direction. This car is also interacting with, it's also leaving some effect on the man, though that effect is very, very small. Okay, so now because of the interaction between these two objects, a force comes into play, and which causes this car to move forward in that direction where the force is applied. I hope it is clear. Now before you can see, nothing happened. The car was there, man was there. But later on, when these two bodies started interacting, the car moved. So here man is also acting on this, and it's not visible here, but when you will study, when you will go in higher class, maybe in class 9, you will study, there is one law of Newton, that to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So that you will study that time only. Just remember, car is also acting on it, but the effect is very, very small. Okay, so because of which, due to which the force comes into play, and which causes the car to move in a forward direction or in a direction where the force is applied, or where that all is given here. Okay, now here also you can see Second example, if both the objects are capable of applying force. Now here this person, man is applying force, car is not applying. Car is also applying, you will see, but very little force, because both the bodies are interacting. Actually this man is applying force, car is resisting the force. Okay, so that you can say this object, because interaction is between the two objects which act in such a way that they leave effect on each other. This car is also doing, but very small. So that is why the car is able to move in the forward direction, because the effect of the car on the man is very less. Now here you can see, if both the objects are capable of applying force on each other, okay, this boy is applying here, this boy is applying here, then the interaction between them can be of pushing or pulling. For example, the two boys shown in figure 3 are interacting and applying force on each other by pushing each other. See, these are the two objects, these boys, they are two objects. So this boy is pushing this boy and this one is pushing this boy. Both of them are interacting. Okay, so both of them are interacting, they are pushing each other. On the other hand, here you can see this example. Here this man and this cow, they are interacting with each other, pulling. This man is pulling and this cow is resisting the pull. So they are interacting, and because of which the force comes into play. Okay, force has so just remember, first thing, forces are due to an interaction. Force has magnitude as well as direction. What do you mean by magnitude? Magnitude means the number as well as direction. For example, you know that the unit of force is, SI unit of force is Newton, which is denoted by N. So if I say that the force exerted by a particular object on the other object is 10 Newton, so this is 10, this is called as magnitude. Okay, I am saying a force exerted by object 1. Suppose this is object 1, this is object 2. So the force exerted by this heavier object on object 2 is 10 Newton, means this much amount of force is exerted, and due to the effect of that force, this object 2 moves in a forward direction. Okay, because the force is exerted in this direction, so that is called as the direction. Means the force has magnitude, the amount or the quantity which tells us how much amount of force is exerted, and direction also, which tells us in which direction or in which side the object moves. So force has magnitude as well as direction. Okay, and the quantity which has magnitude as well as direction, that is called as a vector quantity. Okay, vector and scalar quantity again you will study in class 9. So just remember, force has magnitude as well as direction. I hope it is clear. Now you can see here, the adult man can apply large force on an object, whereas a child can apply a small force. Yes, on an object. This means that the force can be larger or smaller. Adult can apply large force and a boy or a small child can apply small force. So force can be larger or force can be smaller. Okay, the strength of the force is expressed by its magnitude. That's what I told you. The strength of the force is expressed in magnitude. For example, this object 1 A, it applies a force of 10 Newton. B, let me say this B is a child, it applies a force of 5 Newton. So what is this? This tells us the strength of the force which is applied. So in which case the strength of the force or the magnitude of the force is more. So the magnitude of the force is 10 Newton, that is more in A. So what do you mean by magnitude of a force? Magnitude of the force tells us about the strength of the force. So the strength, and how you come to know which force is more, which force is less, that you know by its magnitude. Okay, so magnitude I told you, I am repeating, Newton is the SI unit of force. And what is magnitude? Magnitude, it tells us the strength by which the force is applied. So the force applied by a larger object will be more and the smaller object will be less. Please underline this. The strength of a force is the expressed in the magnitude, and force also has a direction. So whichever direction the force applied is more, the object will move in that particular direction. 1 Newton of, what is 1 Newton of force? 1 Newton of force is that force which can make an object of 1 kg mass to move at a speed of 1 meter per second. So 1 Newton of force, what is that? That is 1 Newton of force is that force which makes an object of 1 kg, okay, to move at a speed of 1 meter per second. So 1 Newton force, it will move an object of 1 kg through how much distance? Through a distance of 1 meter in 1 second. I hope it is clear. 1 Newton of force, again I am repeating, 1 Newton of force is that force which is able to move a body having a mass 1 kg. Mass, you can say weight. Exactly, mass and weight are two different things. There is a big difference between the two, but that again you will study in class 9th. So you can roughly, you can say just a weight. So 1 Newton of a force is that force which is able to move a body having a weight of 1 kg through a distance of 1 meter in 1 second. And now here the thing is this, kg is a SI unit, Newton is a SI unit, but meter is not a SI unit. So when you do numericals, you have to make sure that all the units are written in the same this thing, like in SI unit all the units are written, or in other CGS units. Okay, so here meter is not the SI unit, the kilometer is the SI unit. So you either have to convert this meter into kilometer, or this into you have to convert this meter into kilometer. Okay, that we will discuss later on in detail, but just underline what is 1 Newton. 1 Newton is that much force or that much pull or a push which can move a body. Which body? Not a stone, minor stone, not a you can say a grain of a sand. No, which can move a body having a weight of 1 kg. How much it will move? Through a distance of 1 meter in how much time? In 1 second. So that is 1 Newton of a force. Along with the magnitude of the force, the direction in which the force acts is also has to be specified. Yes, so this is also very important. It's not that you write only that the magnitude. You also, in case of force, since it has direction also, it is very much important to mention as to in which direction the body will move. So this is because if the magnitude or direction of the applied force changes, the effect produced by force also changes. When two forces act on an object, the two cases arise. Either the force act in same direction or the force act in opposite directions. Okay, so today we will do till here only. Rest we will do in next class. Okay, so please revise whatever we have done. We have not done much. So, but whatever we have done, just go through it, just revise. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you, students.